All of our emotions are like an early warning system. Our emotions are there to help us know that there's something that needs our attention. So there is a Reddit called Am I the Asshole, or AITA. And it's a forum where people can post a situation that they've been in or encountered and let everybody know about it, and then get people's opinions on whether or not the poster is the asshole or the other person in the situation was the asshole. Some of them are really funny and inspiring and like, what the heck? Okay, I'm not that bad, in that kind of a vein. And others of them are, I don't know what I would have done in that situation, and I'm just going to sit back. The bottom line is we are choosing into asking people to judge us. Now, I've been in a super introspective space lately. I am constantly asking myself different questions and inspired by things that happen and make me go inside and ask if I need to change something or how I would have reacted to different things. And this particular topic keeps coming to my mind. It keeps coming to the forefront of my thoughts. And so obviously, this is where I go with it. I bring it to you guys and tell you all about it. So in the homes, schools, religions, the communities that we grew up in fed into our belief and understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And it's all because of their experiences, which feed into our experiences, and the experiences of people before them that feed into those. And I don't like this, and I don't feel like it's right. And I think it's mostly in the terminology that I'm frustrated. And let me explain a little bit further. So I personally do not believe that emotions are positive or negative. Some people say that anger is a negative emotion, or sadness or fury or irritation are negative emotions, and that happiness and joy and peace are all positive. And I think that's BS, because I believe that all of our emotions are like an early warning system. Our emotions are there to help us know that there's something that needs our attention. There's something we need to deal with. There's something not quite cohesive in what we're dealing with in that moment. And so they're saying, hey, let's take a minute to see this. So if you're angry, if you're embarrassed, if you're frustrated, it's not that emotion that is negative or positive. It's literally what you do with that emotion. Let's say that you are in a conversation with your partner. And in this conversation, you are starting to get a little frustrated and irritated, and you have a choice. In this, you might start raising your voice. You might say something that may or may not be rooted in truth, that may or may not be supportive in the relationship that you've got and whether or not you want it to continue growing. It may be hurtful and come from a knee-jerk reaction that is not necessarily truth and how you feel. You may decide that instead of engaging, you are going to shut down a little bit, be quiet, withdraw, stuff your own emotions so that you can avoid the confrontation and minimize what's going to happen. Is that honoring your emotions either? And maybe you decide to leave the house. You storm out, you decide you're going to walk away, and you're going to remove yourself completely and give yourself a chance to cool down and maybe come back later. When you come back later, have you thought about what was going on? Have you given yourself a chance to reflect on why you were angry and upset, or why you were feeling attacked, or what emotions had come up for you? It's the what you do with the emotion, not the what you're feeling. Emotions are normal. We all have them. They help us work through life. They help us navigate through life. They help warn us when, ooh, something doesn't quite feel right there and I'm a little concerned, so I think I'll back off. I think I'll side skirt here or there just a little bit. Going back to the Reddit forum that I mentioned earlier in the beginning, I think it's very common for us to ask a group of our peers, hey, so, can you judge me? Can you tell me if I'm right or wrong? We're asking them to validate our choices and our decisions in life, validate the actions that we have taken. And heaven forbid if they decide that we are the asshole, that we did do something wrong, but we are then caving into the societal decisions of whether or not our actions are where they need to be and what they need to be. Where are our own moral compasses? Where are our ownership of our personal choices and decisions and paths in life? The thing is, nobody else has had the same experience in life as you. Nobody has walked the same path. Nobody has gone through the same heartache and frustrations and challenges or uplift and joy that you have. Nobody knows your experience, which means that nobody is able to make a decision on your behalf based on the filters that you have that have been built throughout your life. In the same vein, you have never walked in someone else's shoes. So how do you have the right to judge them and determine whether or not they are a valid person? You don't know how they feel about life, about relationships, about money, about their body, religions. You have not been in their shoes. You have no clue. Here we are saying you're right and you're wrong. Well, why is that person right? And why is that person wrong? I would really love to change that mentality and realize that things just are. They are making those choices because that is their life and that is the filter with which they have chosen to live their life. We have no ability to change that because it's not our life that they're living. It's their own. My husband and I have this phrase, let's be an impartial neighbor. Think of your neighbor. Would you loan them some sugar or an egg if they were baking and they ran out? If they were on vacation and there was a water leak, would you go over and do what you could to try to help fix the situation? Would you run into them at a neighborhood barbecue or at a myriad of other reasons that you might bump into them? They have had a vastly different life than you have. Vastly different upbringing, vastly different experiences that feed into who they are and how they believe and feel right now. So you still like them. You get to be an impartial neighbor. It means that it's cool. We're neighbors, we're going to live in the same area, and I don't have to have a vested interest in you and your life. I don't have to have a vested interest in the decisions that you make because they aren't necessarily affecting me for the most part. I can care for you. I can think that you are wonderful. You are. It is the reality that we are neighbors, so let's make the neighborhood as nice as we possibly can. But you don't have to judge and determine whether or not they're living their lives correctly because it's their life, not yours. I'm working to be an impartial neighbor, and I love it. I love that my husband and I have this phrase, and I do it with my own kids because as they have their kids, my grandkids, I don't want to judge how they're being a parent or how they're living their life, what they choose to spend their money on. I would much rather be an impartial neighbor and say, I love you for who you are and for the life that you're living and for the good that you are doing out in the world, helping other people. So deciding whether or not things are good or bad precipitates an attitude of constantly judging, constantly choosing everything. The thing is that our perspective might be totally skewed. Was it good that I was productive today? Maybe not. Maybe I have an injury and I should have been resting and taking care of myself. Was it good or bad that I made a dinner out of macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets? I don't know. I have to be the judge of that, not you. I think relabeling things to understand that they just are, and allowing ourselves to be in that space and saying, it's okay. You be you, I'll be me, and we'll just all live in this world in a more positive, loving, accepting way instead of the judgmental, you're an asshole. To be honest, I'd really rather not judge others. And I'd really like to apply the same sentiment to myself. No judgment. It just is. So I want to let it go. Things simply are. And in accepting that that's how things are, I'm excited to simply be.